Hello there, people of the the angle the Anglican of the Adesata, people of Finds Offensida, people of the Fingers Half, and anyone that watches on here on the Rich Nicholson channel, etc. It's been a while since I've been on to do a personal video like this, so I thought I'd come on just for a little while, just to say hello and tell you the whole idea behind Germanic Litha, a Germanic summer solstice, a Germanic Litha. So, what was Germanic Litha? I am in my I'm going to be straight with you. I'm in my bedroom in Western Mercia. It's decorated to my comfort, almost into like it's my own little heathen grove. Although I do have, as many of you should know by now, I do have the hall down in my garden, the Wayerford Hall. I've even got my sword beside me. Isn't that good? I'll show you that. I got that for my name day, my birthday. 28 years round Sinner, or Sinner flying round us. So I'll get to that. I'll show you that in a bit. But what is Litha? What is Litha? Litha is, of course, the summer solstice. It is the crossover point between the longest day. They reckon that, our forebears would have celebrated this by the full moon, which we did this past weekend with a Klingers Half. I'm not saying where our grove is because, for reasons I refuse to expose the location of our grove, but we have a grove. And you'll have to contact Chris Anglican on Facebook if you're interested in coming to join us. But yes. But other than that, I'm not saying where the grove is for safety reasons. But we honoured Litha on the full moon weekend. It was Friday, Friday, and Saturday. The 2 nights of the full moon of Mama's full showing. That's when our forebears were believed to do this. The longest day said to be the 24th this month, and we just mute this dreadful advert. Is it skippable? Yes, it is. It's the problem when you have an hour of traditional music there on YouTube. I'll just throw constant ads down your throat, and then when you put music of your choice on, I'll just mute you because the artist rights. So yeah, you can't win with them really. But anyway, that's how it is. I'm going to say it as it is. Steadfast Anglican, you can't win with this, with these music rights. But anyway, back on subject. Litha. It's the time of Sunna. It's the time of her. The time she is highest in the sky. Always no. It's the time she rides slowest past Middengadda and is closest to Middengadda, giving us much warmth, more fertile elements, more warmth, more produce, and better growth, as do the other gods. But Sunna is said to be a goddess, as is Mona. They were named after the sun and moon deities. Woden and the rest of the Essa and the One Eye, the Essia and the One Eye, that's how we pronounce them, I believe, in Anglo-Saxon. They were very unhappy with the names chosen by their father, who just get this information up. It's probably going to take me a decade to find it because I've got that many notes. Let's have a look. So, you know, the old body Icelandic sagas is known as Mundri Ferry, and it's the name of the father by the Icelandic sagas. Named them after the sun and the moon. The gods being outraged by the names, so the gods Woden and Ness and One Eye, for the god and goddess, was cursed by Woden to pull the chariots of the sun and moon, only to be chased by a hat known modern as Hati, would chase Sunna. I think it's would chase Sunna and the Bias Miran, I think is translated meaning mock in Old English, in modern and Norse known as skull, would chase Mona, and these are the two sun wolves of Fenris. By the end of time, which is known as, I've got it in modern Frisian, just bear with me. Doomfanagodden in Frisian, which is the closest language we have to Old English today, meaning Doom of the Gods, which is what Ragnarok translates to in modern Norse, or was it Old Norse? It's one of them, in the Icelandic sagas. So Doomfanagodden in what is actually Frisian for Doom of the Gods is when the two sons of Fenris will get to know Mona. And this was cursed by Woden and the Essia and One Eye for such a poor choice of names by their father, and that's how it goes. So Sunna is said to be shining day, wonder and friend of the heathen, guides the heathen with light, giving us daylight, and Mona was said to come at sunstead at nightfall, where Mona will pass and represents the night, known as the shining night wanderer and also friend of the heathen. They were said to guide our forebears, and Mona's is the shining night wanderer who will guide us at night, giving us a small light energy source, as we know the moon does at nightfall. And he was said to guide the heathen, and our forebears would tell the time of season, knowing when the moon is at full. Hence that's why we believe these festivals are celebrated on the full moon, and there would have been alignment with the stars, etc., much like what the Britons and the Gaelic Celtic people did, and the Gauls, etc. The Helvetii and all the Celtic folk modernly known and inspired the Romans as Celtic people. I know a lot of Celtic people don't like being called Celtic people and prefer their more native names, so that's why I say Briton, Hibernian, Iberian, Helvetii, Gaul, Brythonic, Pict, whatever you believe if you're a Celtic person. I'll try and get it as accurate as I can for you. But, I like to see myself as Anglo-Mercian, so I'll respect what you are as well. But yeah, we always go by the full moon, although the modern calendar date says the 24th. That day we will be having a king gathering and a fire, which I look forward to and await. And I've also booked the week off work just to make it even better. I booked a week or two from work. I haven't had a full week off since I left my old job, so I'm really looking forward to that in a week or two. I can't cook quick enough, to be fair, to tell you the truth. what else? So yeah, an Arasata, which is I've mentioned on my the Arasata Facebook group and on the Fines of Fernsidda Facebook group and on my personal Facebook profile. For those who follow me or on the groups will know, there are photos from I do blots to the Arasata, but in a more kin style fashion, as I most sworn to Fines of Fernsidda. But I do, have a layout that is for more kin purposes and close friends purposes, where a kin blot under Arasata can be held in my back garden in our way of a temple. This was very kindly accepted by our former elder blotter, our spiritual guide, and our elder blotter today. So that's grand, and that was a lovely blot with the attendance of my cousin Dan yesterday. That went really well. And of course my brother, as always, my Liðablót brother Reese Nicholson, also known as Little Bayonne. By the way, I'm Rich Nicholson, head of the Arasata Kimblot, and a Liedman, proud Liedman of Fines, sworn Liedman of Fines of Fernsidda. No, come on, there we go. We've got a really crap remote and an agenda of adverts. I just want to shove Deliveroo adverts down my throat, but that's irrelevant right now. But anyway, so it was a lovely Kimblot yesterday, and we had the best turnout ever at Fines of Fernsidda, the best turnout yet. Side to die for Liðablót, so it was really well. And these are the times of warmth and sun now. Some would also say Baldi, for his smile that shines light. So if you work with Baldi this time of year, then it's a blessed, probably a good time for him as well. Sorry for my eyes, I've got a bit of a hay fever. These are blessed times, and at these times we honour the god and goddess monarchs, and also always honouring with Frey, for he's my upholding deity, for having his pendant there. It's a boar tooth with Ingwad's engraved on it. It's a one of a kind pendant. I don't think they will ever sell it again. It was a one-off pendant, and I'm really pleased that I got it when I did. Otherwise, I might never have possessed it. But and I cherish this. It goes everywhere with me. This does. But so always honouring with faith. He's very fertile. It's a fertile time of year, as was his month of May, as the Ermine Sol, the world tree and pillar of worship. What else? Who else was honoured? We get ready to welcome Funor for Funor Blot at the next moon passing, at the next passing of Mona. And this is because in summer it can get that hot. The Funor will cool with cooling rains. He will cool our lands, and water our crop and produce and plants and green with his malai, his hammer, his anvil. And the rain sparks and water are the sparks from his anvil. And they cool our lands when they get a bit too warm here in Angleland, in Mercia, and other parts of this blessed oil. So, that it can happen any time in summer, but the time we honour him for that is the modern month of July, and that comes next month, and I'll try and get another video in after the two blots are done for that. So that's going to be really good. But for Sunna, Mala and Mona, they were the ones mainly honoured, and we call them a sun cradle or a sun wheel. And now there's no agenda to it. I know a lot of people. I don't want to go political in this. It's what it is. It's a heathen representation of Sunnah. That's what it was used as. That's what it is. And one was offered on the flame to Sunnah, as was the Sigil rune, which is the rune that looks like an S, and that was also offered to Sunnah because that's what you do as a proud Anglican heathen at this time of wheel. Cleaning us off, we also cast out the Uttengard. There was a representation of the Uttengard, and it's cast out the circle and burned during the appropriate part of the Sidhu, which is Anglo-Saxon word for the ritualistic part of a blot. Of course that was put to the flame and cast out back to whence it came, to the realms of shadows, the Jotunheim, Hallam, Jotunheim. If you believe in Muspelheim, we believe it to be below the roots, so the roots of Nidhogg. So not seen on the Anglo-Saxon world tree. If you believe they're back to there, back to the realms of where the negative, the Uttengard, as we know it has, come from. We have a lot of Uttengard, unfortunately, here in Middengadda, so we have to make sure we're ready for them and we have the defence against them. Because the Uttengard will try and destroy everything we know and everything we stand for. And we can't allow that to happen. So we have to be ready for them. We don't ask the gods to beat them for us, but we can certainly ask them, for guidance to help beat them. Funor did agree to defend us from the Jotuns, but not the Uttengard completely. Well, the Jotun Uttengard elements live within us humans. We humans, in our belief, we were made from Woden and his two brothers, Whale and I'll get the old English names actually. They're known in modern Scandinavian as Vili and Vey. So the brothers were known as Will and Whale, being Vili and Vey. So Will is actually the old English name for Vili, and Whale, where then obviously the name of not the old English for altar. Whale is also the name of in old English for Woden's brother, known as Vey. So Will and Whale, Vili and Vey. And they, Woden, created the very first two humans from, were said to be created from the ash tree. I think it was an ash tree, I think it was. If we look on our thumbs, you can't see it on here, but we have the spirals on our thumbs. If you cut a tree down and look inside the log, they actually have spirals as well. So you can see the similarities between us and trees and why they're so important to us. But Woden and Will and Whale decided they would try and make a new life form species from a tree, and succeeded. And look at what we've turned into today. Like all traces of life throughout the realms and beings, there's Innergard and Uttengard in us as well as the rest of them. So, it's it was quite an interesting thing what they decided to do with the tree. The males saying to descend from the more branches, and the the branches and the trunk, and the female from the very colourful, beautiful leaves of the tree. Creating ash and ember. I can't remember the names in Old English. Ash and ember, first humans. Now, if we think of the, you know, the new religion, what we call the dark spheres, without going too deep into it to the point where we get took down, but I think anyone with heathen would know what I mean, and these adverts are a fine example of Uttengard interference. They also had their very first two humans, and they called them Adam and Eve. To us, to Norse it's Ash and Ember. I think I've got an Old English name for Ash and Ember, and if I have, well, why not share it with you? Ash being ask, and Ember being known as elm. So Ash is obviously ask in Old English, which also translates into the modern name of Ash or Ashley or Ashton, and the Old English name for Embla is elm. So elm. I'm not sure if there's a modern name for that. The only one I can think of, probably closest, is maybe the name Emma, but of course that doesn't have an L in it, so, but it's a possibility. But anyway, Ask and Elm were the first two humans made by Will Whale and Lord Warden, and so began the life of humanity. And they were the ones that then, took on Middengadde and made it their home. Now, what was Middengadde? Middengadde was originally known to the Norse as the joint Ymir, where he was killed, and his brains were the clouds, his hair was the grass, and his bones were the hills, etc., and all of his body parts were spread to make what is Middengadde today, and was classed as another realm of the gods. So the divine forebear the Germanic people. I think it's spelt the same, but with a H, so it's Hymir. I think it's pronounced Hymir. Hymir, also known as Ymir, who became the realm of Middengadde after his death, and why Earth, what we modernly know as Earth or Middle Earth, is here today, what we are currently living on. So there's a few lessons for you there today, guys. And Sunderman are cursed, obviously, to continue riding round it, escaping from the two walls. And once they capture them, which unfortunately someday they will start the final battle of Duma Den, modernly known as Ragnarok, and that's the old Frisian translation. And well, for now, Sun avoids closest to our Middle Earth and gives us what we know as summer, our beautiful time where everybody goes out. Our forebears before us would have travelled more these times across seas and across land, and good times, good feasts, much feasts to honour them, and celebration to honour this blessed time of year. As we begin, as the nights begin to shorten, some would believe after the moon has gone, some would believe after the 24th, depending on your faith. I would just say after this moon, known modernly as a month, nights will begin to shorten as we head into Liðablót, as we slowly head back into winter. But before that, we must cross also with Biowa. Biowa being the son of Scaffa. Being the son of Scaifer. Scaifer, well, some debate, was a son of Wardin, and some believe him to be a son of Ingwe. I personally believe him to be a son of Ingwe. He has another name in Norse, and those who have played, going a bit off subject, those who have played the God of War, Ragnarok, this may contain a spoiler if you haven't played it. He's at Biowa, and he has a sister in Norse mythology but not recognised by Anglo-Saxon. You actually fight him under a different name in, I think it's Alfum, in the Alfum library, I think it is. I think that's where you fight him, and he's actually quite a tough boss, and I'm not going to lie, I did have a few rage moments, but anyway, that's irrelevant, that's a game. But time of Beerwa comes up where we celebrate the harvest that he gives us, as well as Scaifer. Scaifer was also said to act as a mortal king. He has a name in Denmark, and I believe in the South Seax Kingdom in Angleland. I'd imagine it's Essex, Wessex or Sussex. He actually ruled there as well, and then came Beerwa, who was also said to be John Barleycorn in the song that got grinded to bits as corn by the people. Alright, bro. Just doing a video. But yeah, that's always a lovely block, and that's upcoming before we start really heading towards the end of summer into the start of winter. The Anglo-Kin, Anglo and Sayax, Saxons and Jutes in southern Germania, obviously the very north of Germania, depending whether you see them as a northern Germanic or separate people. I know I've got some people in the half that I'm part of, I believe the Danes, the Scandinavians, to be separate from Germanic. I personally think they're just northern Germanic, but anyway, I'll class them as northern Germanic, but Germanic folk only believed in summer and winter, whereas what is defined into one is the Celts, the Britons, the Scathcloid, who are also Britons, the Scotty, the Iberian, the Iberian, the Hibernian, the Scotty, the Gauls, the Helvetii, anything the Brittany, anything that comes under that name, Celtic, had the 4 seasons, so they believed in spring and fall as well, where we only have the 2, which is summer and winter. And I think winter starts after the summer solstice. So you've crossed that halfway barrier, then we're ticking, slowly descending back into the colder and shorter days. Just because it can still be boiling hot and really warm and nice. It's about the days getting shorter, and that's our forebears signalled winter. Whereas when you hit the winter solstice at the top of the wheel, you're then coming into summer, although it's still freezing cold till about late April into May. But that's how our forebears did it. So after this moon, we're crossing into winter again. By a modern concept, no way what you want about, you're talking bubbles. It's not, it's summer until about September. And that's how that's how they see in the modern aspects, and that's your belief. But yeah, and from a Celtic point of view, we're yet to enter fall, and we're currently in summer. So yeah, well, I know the Celts have their version of the summer solstice as well. The Britons, if I'm correct, they call it, isn't it Alban Heffin or something like that? I think it's Alban Heffin or something like that, before their festival of Lunasa, which represents the start of fall and the summer to them. But our next festival is the Liðablót in the moon, known as Afterliffer, meaning after Liffer, like Yule and after Yale, Yale and after Yale, Yule after Yule. We have an Afterliffer as well, and that connects with the blot of funnel. So yeah, I'll come on, had a little chat today. Thought I'd show my face, say hello. I hope you're well and safe, and you know, behaving. Got this in the month of Verminsul, in the month of Frill. Come on off, known the moon known as modernly as May. It's my new Anglican sword, and they would have had this in like the 900s, 1000s maybe. The Danes had swords similar to this as well. And the reason I got this is because I like the guard. Our forebears had the guards like this, and it was more in the time of after conversion. Look at that. It's a fine blade. It's lovely. And it can be used as an Anglican blade. I also have my son, who I might spray painted, so it looks more like the Staffordshire Horde blade. And I'll show that another time, for I use that blade in, well, I shall be using it again in the Arasate Anglican Kinblot, in the Arasate Kinblot for Nerfus, which is the crossing with September, and I'll be putting my blade aside, as you do for Lady Nerfus, to show that we come in peace, and if you don't, then you'll probably be cursed, and that ain't just me messing about. You can, there's generally great consequences said if you cross Nerfus in the wrong way, so we don't want to be doing that, and we don't want to be cursed through September. So, you know, the Arasate Kinblot, definitely, and my blade will be in that blot in the Werford Hall, and will be put aside in a blanket so Nerfus does not feel insulted or intimidated, and that'll be sorting these ads out. Sorry about this. There we go. And you know, we can honour Nerfus as we always do. But yeah, they're I pretty much always have the right ups, but I try and tweak them a bit every year, every wheel, so that they fit in well, and we can honour the gods to the best of our ability. But anyway, there's a little video from me. I was a bit bored today, so I wanted to come on and say hello and update you guys. I wasn't a video in Arasate Kinblot yesterday. I felt sometimes it's nice to put photos up of what we do. It was the same process as the last few blots, but we offered the rune of Sigel and the sun wheel, and of course there was the reading and the cymbal at the end where we do the toasts, and Reese also sung Halsana as the offerings are being burned. So that was a really good blot. I also wasn't sure if my cousin was comfortable showing his face on the live thing, on the video, but he did say yesterday he'd be happy to show his face on that, so we can, you know, we're pretty cool to record future blots, I would say Kinblots, and like I say, the big main blot for those who wish to honour our ways is at Klingershafen in our Grove. And again, the best point of contact on Facebook to ask about that is Chris Anglican, So yeah, I won't be revealing where that is for safety reasons, obviously. But it's a brilliant grave, and we've got something really special and fantastic going on in there. And our lives have been better ever since we've been starting these blots. You know, things have really been looking up for myself, just lately anyway. In my personal life, there's a lot of wrong in the world. Without going political, there's so much wrong in the realm of Midgard, especially in our blessed land of, well, what I know as Mercia, the Midlands, and generally of an oil Angleland once it was, you know, combined by Athelstan and well, modern Britannia, for when it become what many just see as the UK. To me, I class my country as Mercia. I'm not joining that political movement. I go by a forebear point of view, although we are one country of Angleland. I like to see my area of my forebears and the place I live in as Mercia. And I still believe in the 7 Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Well, there's 9 if you divide the 2 original Northumbrian kingdoms, because there were 2 kingdoms for Northumbria, and obviously the Isle of Wight as well. So if you consider that, it's debatable whether there's 7 or 9. Or some say the Isle of Wight was politically part of Wessex. Well, how did King Arwald of the Isle of Wight become a heathen king from Wessex? Well, he would have been chosen by the people of Isle of Wight. They didn't want to convert, and he was very against it. So he took the little island as his own, and obviously Wessex come and, you know, they come and unfortunately did what they did. But yeah, so that's how I believe he would have been king. That, or the other possibility was, well, he was most likely an alderman or a lairdsman known as in heathen times, and he probably would have been made king by the people of the Isle for staying heathen and not be under the current king of Wessex. But that's a small view. It could have been a completely different ball game. But anyway, as our forebears did, so shall we. Where we have the honour to be, the wisdom to know, and the knowledge to care. Wassail, everybody, and thank you for whoever watches. See you later.